there was a community or a city that only allowed women, women ran it, women lived there, no men, no boys allowed, I would be there so fast. Can you imagine? No more guns, no more fighting, no more war, no more emotional outbursts. It would be utopia, honestly.
After selling her IT company, entrepreneur Christina Roth set out to create a space where women could unplug, connect, and recharge on their own terms. No men allowed. That idea became SuperShe Island, an exclusive women-only retreat nestled off the coast of Finland. The 8.4-acre island features high-end cabins, traditional saunas, and curated wellness experiences, all designed to nurture mind, body, and community. Again, no men allowed. What began as a personal blog and intimate retreat quickly evolved into a global network of more than 3,000 women. And now, okay, this has since closed. Can't imagine why. This has since, was there like a cat fight on the island? I'm just wondering, just asking. Can I not ask a question? Okay. So this has since closed. And what's really interesting here is that you look on Wiki, right? I'm not saying everything on Wiki is true, but this was in a number of locations. It says this quotation about it. It's supposed to be women only, right? The whole point is women only, get the guys out of here. The implication being guys are trouble, guys take away your peace of mind. We need a nice wellness space where men are kept out, right? Check out this quote. After purchase, male construction workers were working on the island to lay lines for power and water and gut renovation. That was the only time men were allowed on the island besides Roth's close family and friends. At the end of the day, she needed men, right? And the funny thing is you look at the comments and they're like, well, who built the saunas? Who built the infrastructure? Who did all the plumbing on the island? So basically, men set up the whole island for her. Men set up the island and then were told to get out, right? Left. And then were invited back only when they had to do repairs. Right? Oh my God, the plumbing is a mess. Call the guys. Call the guy. What are we gonna do? Right? Oh heaven, there's a bug infestation. Call the men. Get them in here. Close down the island for a couple of days. Let them come in here and fix this. So I love this because it fits the whole like we don't need men. And it's so fascinating to me. Imagine the idea that you're setting up a whole island, which flopped. And you're making it women only. Guys aren't invited, but they have to set up, do all the grunge work, right? So, honey, you did need a man, right? The island that you created, this idea of yours would have just existed in your mind, honey, if the guys didn't come in and do all the damn work. They did all the work. And honestly, like these guys, man, I'm telling you, I know they probably get contracted and they take their money and they say, let me get the hell out of here. But, I would have been like, oh, so you want me to set up your island, but I'm not invited to stay. Just do it yourself, honey. Do it. Let me see you digging in that dirt, getting your fingernails, those long pointy nails that you probably have, getting all dirt underneath. I want to watch. Guys, man, it must be so fun for you sometimes to watch women try to do these things. Construction. Ooh, it's got to be a blast. So bottom line is we need men. Men built everything. Men maintain society. They come in, they do all of the important things that maintain a society. And when women say they don't need men, they're lying.
Could a women's only community truly stay women-centered? Oh, brother.
Hey, can I ask you something? What would it look like if women decided to pull together their resources and make a community for themselves and their children?
It would be absolute chaos, but luckily this is impossible because if it was possible, women would have already done it already.
And this is a conversation I was having with my sister this morning. And I just asked her, I was like, would something like this actually be sustainable in the long term?
No.
Because I find that a lot of women actually end up censoring men in their lives, whether it's through seeking validation or through a relationship or just thinking that a man has to be involved in every aspect of their life in order for their life to be successful. And then the concept came up of how a lot of women have children with these men. And after the first child, you can get a good gauge of the type of parent that this person is. If the person is not...
Oh no, women center a man that they have children with. Who would have ever thought that a woman has a child with a man and then the man and her children, her family essentially, becomes the center of her life? Oh no. Like, she's over here talking about the sustainability of the community, and the first thing she thought of is women centering men. Women centering men is on the very bottom of your list of things to worry about when it comes to sustainability, far under water and electricity. And by the way, I wouldn't want the kids to be involved with this because it would be absolute carnage, and I don't think that they should be a part of that. But I wouldn't mind for this to happen. Maybe we take a town and we help build a town, or maybe take one of these ghost towns that already exist, fill it up with women. I would even help them build it up, build the infrastructure, put everything in place, and then take your hands out of it. Bring in female electricians, female plumbers, female mechanics, everything female, and then just see what happens. I give it about 30 days before things really start to fall apart and those same women start going back into the societies that they complain about. It may sound good in theory if you have the IQ of a first grader and you have a feminist TikTok brain, but who would women blame their problems on if they lived in this community? Like, sometimes I listen to these types of women talk on TikTok and I'm like, you're screaming into the void. Just get a boyfriend. And it's funny because they complain about women centering men, but all they do is talk about men.
Helping you with anything involving the child, no resources are being pulled into it. Where I would start to find issue is if you keep going back and having children with that same incompetent person, a person who clearly does not want to be a parent, a person who could give a flying hoot about if you and the child eats and survive. And I was expressing to my sister that if we were in a community, I would be very accepting of all the children that are already here.
They always skip the first step. They always complain about the hypothetical man or the hypothetical father, but they never start at the first step, which is why would the woman get pregnant by said hypothetical man or father? That's so bad. And the excuse is always, well, she didn't know. He lied to her. And it's like, oh, sure, buddy.
Where I would have the problem with is that if women in the community that's supposed to be focused on women development and focused on pooling resources to raise the children that are already here, kept getting pregnant while in this women community, and they kept like falling in love or censoring a man somehow, and that's how I feel like the community would fall apart.
I mean, so you're gay. You could just move to San Francisco or Atlanta. They already have places for that. She thinks that women centering men would be the downfall, but all it would take is one spider.
Because I genuinely don't think that it's going to be successful, because too many women need the validation from men in order to feel like they're doing something, even if that man has proven to be incompetent.
I don't think that's going to be the reason for its lack of success.
So that leads me to asking this question and bring this conversation to TikTok. Do you think that a woman-led community would continue to be focused on women and children, or do you feel like that community is going to shift because somehow a woman is going to bring a man into the dynamics?
So what happens when the children turn 18 and it's a boy? Do you just kick them out of the community? Like, the lack of thought when it comes to anything that she's saying is insane.
Of course, with a man introduced into this dynamic, the dynamic changes. I personally have no faith in a woman-led community or in a way that I would want it to be ran with pooling resources. I personally don't think I would pool resources in that manner because I just don't trust some women to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, I'd love to see it, though. I'd love to see women building the houses, doing the plumbing, doing the electricity. I love to see women doing the waste management when it comes to garbage, when it comes to sewage. I would love to see this happen. The kids shouldn't be involved, though, because this would be a nightmare. And I know this is surprising, and I hate to burst her bubble, but most women aren't gay.
There's a lot of examples outside of the Western world of women-only communities, and I'm like curious why a women-only community would not be as successful in the West. And I'm also curious why
why are they not successful in the East? I've never heard of any of these women-ran communities, and if they're so successful, why don't you just move to one of those? Why are you in America just complaining?
The idea of a women-only community is triggering a lot of defensive and hostility from men.
The comment says they already exist. There are women-only communities in Africa. Y'all really need to do some research. I don't think that that's true. And these types of women love to think that they're triggering men because they think that criticism is anger. No, ma'am, you're just retarded, and people are calling you that because it's a retarded idea.
On this topic, because women-only communities do exist, and why men are not questioning why women feel the need to have a women's-only community, because a lot of times these communities are centered around safety.
This is just dumb and just not true. There are no women-only communities. They wouldn't even be able to sustain themselves with reproduction, and a spider would just wreak havoc.